About the rigmarole, working hard back and counting single digits up. I'm still cruising through my city, bumping Biggie Small, screaming what a great. Let's stop acting like you didn't know. Didn't know, stop acting like you didn't know. Clearly so quietly, it's gripping society. I'm ended, I'ma fight this beast. I'm saying though, I ain't running, no. The biggest tragedy in life is what dies inside a man while it's still alive. Lauryn Hill said it. Why we think hell is a lie. Underdogs waiting for Cruella's demise before we take the ground and then sell them the sky.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have Marksman Lloyd on the phone. Thanks for coming in on the Power Show to express the power of your music.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me.
The Portals EP is released today, and one of the songs that I thought was really cool is Didn't Know. What's that about?
I would say Didn't Know is about just not taking life so seriously, especially with that second verse. You know, I'm talking about like doing what you want to do for a living rather than what you feel you have to do for a living, or being okay to, you know, be in those tight spots or those places where you're not sure how things are going to pan out to pursue the things you want to do.
So would you say that going for your dreams and that kind of thing, there's that massive risk of not knowing the security of whether you can sort of make a living and support, you know, a future family and stuff like that when you do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, exactly, man. You never know how it's going to pan out. And of course, like, it's a super cliche thing to say, you know, like, go for your dreams. It's an easy statement, but you speak to a lot of creatives, and that pressure is real. Like, it's definitely a real thing, and especially when you're on the way up and you're there yet, you're not sure how it's going to all happen.
That's awesome. You know, one of the other songs was Gene Simmons. Where did that name come from, and what's the story behind that song?
Man, that's my favorite on the EP at the moment. So I originally had this line in my head of it was like, we're like Gene Simmons, we just kiss and make up. Obviously referencing the band Kiss and Make Up, whatever.
Yeah.
And I got together with the singer on it, Anders, who's a good friend of mine. And we like knocked it out in an afternoon. We just sat there, and you know, the beat is so kind of driving and vibey. Kind of just, I don't write love songs very often. I avoid it as much as I can. But it was fun to write a love song, man. Like, I enjoyed it.
Come on, make believe me. Oh, I'm missing you, can't say, call me Gene Simmons.
You know, speaking of Seven Laps, it was actually really interesting. I noticed in the lyrics it says you started reading Luke and then turned from the dark side. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, man. I guess that's just a reference to my faith and what I believe. And I wouldn't say I'm like strict in any sense of the word, but definitely have faith in something beyond us and a higher power. And I think it was just a reference to that, you know what I mean?
And obviously Luke would be referring to the Bible and stuff, right?
Yeah. So I'm referring to scripture.
That's really impressive, because a lot of people would never ever put that in their lyrics because they're afraid of a backlash. But that's really impressive that you would, you know, chuck that out there saying, hey, you know, this is what's on my mind, and you put it into that awesome song. Yeah,
man. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like it's been a big part of my journey. And while I'm still like figuring things out, and I've still got my questions, and I'm still like a flawed human being, you know, I can't deny that being a big part of my journey. So
what is Seven Laps about for those that haven't actually had a chance to listen to this song?
I would say the main thing is like facing your demons. I went through a period of like, you know, 4 years where I was closet alcoholic and just smashing prescription pills, and it was like a pretty dark time, you know what I mean? And I think it was kind of like my rebuttal to whatever was in me that was driving that, you know what I mean? It was almost like a way to face your own demons and stuff, and say like, I'm going to stop running from this. I'm going to stop trying to be numb. I'm going to try to stop like running away from my problems. And I mean, it's all legit. Like that second verse where I say it took an ER to turn a sob story to a sober story.
Yeah.
I like at the end of this kind of stint, I like fainted on a treadmill, and doctors were saying like, you're having problems with your heart, and if you don't stop now, it's not looking good. Like, I got to a pretty dark place, and it took that for me to be like, man, I don't want this, you know. I don't want to kill myself with this stuff. I got stuff to do. I got songs to write.
And what kept you going to not fall back into those those demons?
Health was a big part of it, because like, you're in your 20s having a doctor saying like, if you keep living this lifestyle, you're gonna kill yourself. It's like, man, like, And I don't want that.
You know the fear and anxiety, clearly so quietly is gripping society. I'm ended, I'ma fight this beast. I'm saying though.
One of the other songs on the EP is Pause. Now, you collaborated with some people. Who were those people, and like how did that all come about?
Yeah, me, Sable, and Coin got in the studio, and we got that beat off Sable, and then just wrote to it. And then Nick, the guy singing on the chorus, I've known him since like way back in the day. When we were like 14, he was in a band with one of my best mates, and always been an amazing singer. And I was like, it'd be cool to do a song with him. So yeah, that was another one that kind of flowed pretty easily as well.
Nomo. What about that? What's the creative process with that one and the history behind that song?
I guess it kind of follows in the same footsteps as Seven Laps, so just that idea of like, I mean, because along with, all the substance abuse and stuff, I think a lot of it was like running from anxiety and different things like that, different pressures, right? And so Nomo's like,
yeah. I
mean, in the chorus when I say like, she says, "Hi, my name is Annie with some Zanny for your panic. Please allow me to introduce." Like, I'm talking about, anxiety and prescription.
Oh, wow.
Pills again. And I'm like, I ain't dancing with you. Like, it's kind of just saying I ain't doing that. And even the second verse, I'm talking about that girl who's like trying to be an actor and is chasing fame, and it's making her miserable and making her depressed. I guess it's that all about the mental pressures that come along with like chasing something or chasing recognition or feeling like you need to be in the spotlight or you need to be recognized, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a common story for creatives to get stuck in that cycle and in that system. And so I guess it was just my take on it.
No more. You gon' get a piece of me no more. And then no more.
Has there ever been something in your life that you've learned, whether it was like a really early age or in your teens or whenever, that really changed completely the way you think and see the world?
High school for sure was something for me. I mean, like getting jumped when I was like 14 by about 15 guys who I thought were my mates. I remember that completely changed the way that I saw the world, because I was like, oh man, it's not all roses and smiles. Like this world can be a pretty full-on place. And it kind of, for a while, it really affected me. Like, it made me really go into myself and really insecure and stuff. But I came back out of it.
What in your mind is success? Because a lot of people have different ideas of what success is.
For me, success is being able to do what you love for a living and being content with that, being happy. Like, man, you just look at guys that make it to the very top of the game and are still miserable because it's like you're always chasing something more. You're always chasing recognition or whatever. I think success is being content, happy with where you're at, but also like, being able to live off what you're doing. I mean, I don't think you need to be rich. I don't think you need to own 5 yachts and a Ferrari to be successful. I think if you can like pay the bills and create your art for a living or do what you want to be doing and make a living off that, I think that's a pretty good place to be in.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing is, obviously you talk a lot about, the past and your history, and then there's the anxiety when you're trying to, break through or try and get into the creative industry and writing and stuff. What, for you personally, what's something that helps you get through any anxiety that may come about?
Music, just consuming music. Like that's I could struggle to get through a day without like, a few hours of just having my headphones in and being alone and being somewhere where I can kind of just de-stress and vibe out to something. And just community, man. Like, I speak in schools quite a fair bit and talk about the importance of having good community around you and a good network of people that you can talk to. And just the fact that no matter what background you come from, you'll be able to find people in your network that care and that you can talk to, you know what I mean? So I think that's super important as well, the community around you.
Very interesting. Yeah. So you were saying just before we started recording that you go into different schools and you actually teach the kids how to like write lyrics. So what does that involve? Like what are the kind of things that the kids say to you when they're trying to learn it?
Yeah, I mean that's one of my favorite things to do, man. Like being able to like go in and these kids that some of them haven't even put pen to paper before in a creative sense, but you sit down with them and just help them to kind of like flesh out ideas or what they might want to write about or talk about, and you end up here like what these kids are willing to share in a song they might have never said to anyone before, you know. And that's really special to me, man, because it's the power of music, you know. It's the power of writing. Like, so many of the kids are just insecure and shy and have got no idea and no confidence whatsoever to feel like they even have the right to say something or write a rhyme or write a lyric. But you get them going, or they understand that they do have something to say, they do have a unique point of view, and it's amazing what comes out, you know. Like this girl the other day, she was writing a poem about being disconnected from her family, and the first line was like, "The apple falls way too far from the family tree," and like this is like a 14, 15-year-old kid, you know. And then I think sometimes we write off younger kids or teenagers, whatever, like they don't have much going on yet, or it's going to take a while. But man, I see some amazing stuff coming out of these high schools and these kids. And it's funny, like, especially in the lower socioeconomic, like I go into private schools, right, and they're getting in like different speakers all the time or different artists all the time, whatever. So there's not really like a huge appreciation for it. But you go to some of these other schools where they don't get that all the time, and they're just like so down to try and willing to try. And you know, you find the kids that are so disconnected from the curriculum are suddenly super willing and keen and amped to try and write a rap. And it's like tricking them into, you know, learning English or like being in they're not in an English class. They're not doing any of the work, but they'll sit there and they'll write a whole rap, and they'll be dedicated and they'll be like passionate about it. And
wow,
yeah, man, that's one of my favorite things to be able to do.
That is cool. You know, one last question is, what is Sugar Man about?
Sugar Man is, I'm a massive Rodriguez fan. Like, Rodriguez is one of my favorite artists ever. My dad gave me a Rodriguez cassette when I was like 10, and since then so Sugar Man by him is one of my favorite songs. That's why we chose to repurpose that chorus. But it's just about a friend of mine, man, that went down a dark path, and is still in that place now. And it's a trip, because I saw the guy yesterday, and I haven't seen him in months. I had no idea whether he was even alive or not, and I saw him yesterday, which is so strange that on the week of this coming out, I see the guy. But yeah, man.
Has he had a chance to hear the song yet?
No, not yet. I mean, he's kind of house to house at the moment, and not really like, you know, in his right mind, I guess you would say, because of the usage and stuff. But he's one of my best friends, man. Like, he was at my wedding. You know, he was one of my groomsmen at my wedding. Like, and a super talented writer as well. Like, really talented MC, but battling his demons, man, like we all are. And at the moment, he's getting the better of him. And so, yeah, I just wanted to. I mean, that was another one that came easy because, you know, I don't know. I want to see the dude beat that. I want to get back on track.
Ain't no way to live, but I watched you live it. Live it, you couldn't quit it. In the sky without wings.
Sugar man wants to hurry. I'm so tired of these scenes.
Well, Marksman Lloyd, thank you so much for coming onto the Power Show and expressing the power of your music and the EP Portals. EP Portals is out today, guys, if you want to go check it out.
Single digits,